Hello and welcome for yet another episode of Testify on Hope TV, where you look and live. I am your host, Sharon Aitore, and today our faith gets to grow some more. We have with us Joseph Kabochi, aka Countryman, abandoned at the age of 11, got into organized crime, got into drugs, and a lot more, but the Lord has transformed his life. Let's hear his story. Niaje Jose.
Poa sana.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
We are glad to have you on Hope TV.
Okay.
And we look forward for a great time as we hear your testimony. So maybe unaweza introduce as we, begin. Uko na majina zingine ma AKA. Let's hear them. And then tutanza with your story.
Yes, my name is, the common name is Joseph Kabochi. But I still have AKA Countryman when I'm in stage singing. That means that Countryman ni mtu mwenye haendagi tao. You don't go in urban places. And then kuna Pastor Dingo. Pastor Dingo is when I'm in the street preaching to heroin addicts. They usually call me a thief. I steal them from the kingdom of darkness to the kingdom of light. So I'm actually a holy thief.
Holy thief. Interesting. Okay, let's start with where you grew up and how life, began to transform at the age of 11.
Yes, I grew up like any other kid, but at that age my mother died, and as you know, sometimes when your parents die, your extended family they want to take care of you. But in this case, they were never there for me. But my grandmother, who was supposed to take care of me, actually told me that I did not belong to them and I did not belong to the family. My mother was. So I was living in Kawangware, where my mother left me when she died when I was 11.
After the burial? After
the burial, I started realizing that there are changes. Since no attention, no one is wanting to even think about you. So for sometimes I lived where my mother was, kwa hiyo nyumba aliniacha. So nikakaa hapo sana kwa miezi kama 3 without anyone coming there, but there were people helping me to feed and to pay the rent and also to pay the school fees.
Now, were these the neighbors or who was it?
No, these people were church people from an organization, Compassion International. And this, it was attached to a church called Full Gospel Churches of Free Pentecostal Churches of Kenya. So at that time, they were buying me food, they were paying the rent and also paying the school fees. But as they were telling me to spend what they have bought for a month, it wasn't enough. It was only for 2 weeks. So I would eat for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks I wouldn't go to school because I didn't have food. Even the school, the administration knew that I didn't have food. So that's why I didn't attend the classes. So at that time I used to work. I used to do some staff job, kukata kuni. Kupasua kuni, and I used to be paid 5 shillings. 5 shillings per, 50 cent. 50 cent per piece. So which could add up, after I complete, could add up into 5 shillings. Yeah. So 5 shillings, I will buy unga ya ugali, and then I will go chokora some greens at the mbolea, and I will boil the greens and then cook the ugali. So at this time is the time also I started experimenting with some stuffs, tea leaves, trying to roll tea leaves and making it look like cigarettes. I used to roll tea leaves with newspaper.
So why were you doing that?
I was doing that because I was someone who had grown without any guidance, and I really liked the way people would smoke cigarettes and remove the smoke out of mouth. The nose. So I thought that was swag. Only fiti sana. Hata me, I would try that. And especially the tobacco looks like the tea leaves. So I went there and I rolled tea leaves with gazeti and I started smoking. But it was it brought a lot of cough and so irritating headaches. So I thought I was a fool. So I decided now to go and buy a cigarette. At this time I bought a cigarette and I lit a cigarette and started smoking at the age of 11. and I was in class 6. So meaning now I'm introducing myself to smoking cigarette, of which I'll be now the one to be buying, of which I'll be the one now to provide myself. And no one who was there for me to tell me that it was bad. So class 6, I was able to smoke. Class 7, I graduated, I started smoking marijuana. And class 8, I started now drinking, smoking, and smoking too, both marijuana and cigarettes.
So now, why were you getting from stage to stage? Was it because you felt the
need? Of course, addiction will since it goes in a panda to another level. Each time you are addicted to something, you don't feel it until you use another subject now, another thing, another stuff. So with time, I had now for 3 years, I found myself using now the three drugs.
So now all this time, where were you staying? Still in the same house?
I was in the same house, and the church used to pay that house. But still, that house, people knew me as a person who would looked after myself. Walikuwa wananiita na Kikuyu mwana mweredi. So everyone knew me that. I was living in that house, I was there, and watu walikuwa nakuja huko freestyle. Wenye wanataka ukitaka kuvuta kibangi, ukitaka kuvuta nini, you come in that house.
And were you still going to school?
Yeah, sometimes. School was not a must.
Yeah.
Yes. It's when I have food, I go to school. When I don't have, I will seek on how to get something to eat.
So now, how were you sustaining yourself? At some point, you said you were cutting firewood, and then what happened next? Did you continue with the firewood business, or how did you sustain yourself?
I didn't have the equipments to cut the wood. I would wait for people to go for lunch or go for tea break, and then I would go there. That's how I used to make my money. So at this time, there was no job like that. So there was this woman who used to give me some porridges, some porridge, a cup of porridge, and I would go to school. But sometimes she wouldn't. So at times there was this, the Compassion International Mradi told me to be eaten into their place. But when I went there also, I was treated like, when you are an orphan, sometimes you feel it because there is no love. You know what is love. You know what is love. So for me, I have never experienced real love from any other person apart from my mom. So when I went there to that organization, I was to eat there. There were other children who are being fed there. But when watoto and the women who cooked there, actually there were children who are being helped there. So the plate of their children was different from my plate. So when I went there, they would give me a little token, but their children will be full. So I hated that place because it was never enough for me. So I said to the church, I won't be coming there. So I decided to be working with that mother. He gave me, the mother who was selling porridge, she gave me a job to be doing for her. And I was now selling, I was introduced to her hotel. And I was now washa vyombo, kufanya tu job huko hivyo. So and I found it that she was paying me and I was getting food. So that's how I was getting the money.
Is that the same money that you used to, buy the cigarettes and marijuana and alcohol?
Yeah, at this time I was an addict. I was able now even to, it was not a big deal for me to smoke marijuana and to drink. But I didn't do well in my class 8. Of course, my exams, I failed because my attendance wasn't so good. So in class 8, I went to the church and I asked them how can I reach my extended family, that is Shosho and the aunties. They told me that they know the place, so they can send me there and give me the transport. So they gave me the transport to Nakuru. When I went to Nakuru there, I found my Shosho, who later also told me the same statement. Me, I did not belong to them. My mother was there, not me. So, but I pleaded with them, asking them how would they help me even to go to school, because I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to be educated, but I didn't know how. So I pleaded with them, and they actually took me to a school. These are secondary schools that are called others. Others kumaanisha kama if you had any grade, they accept you there as long as you are paying. So I went there to that high school. It was Lake Nakuru Secondary School. So when I went there, I was not comfortable because I was not getting anything in class. Yeah, first time and the second term, I was chased out of school because the first shopping that these people did to me or bought me, they did a shopping of 21 shillings. That is rangi ya viatu, shoe polish costed for 7 shillings, and toothpaste that costed 14 shillings.
Wow.
So that was my first time in boarding school without anything else.
Yeah.
So instead of me now watching other people having good stuff and I don't have, I started stealing from them. And after stealing, then I graduated to be selling marijuana in school. And now the administration was realized that I was doing that. They actually chased me away. So after they chased me away, I was just wandering around Nakuru with jackets over my uniform. I would go there, I would play karata, I would do all the stuff. I would do vitu zinaitwa simbi, gambling, all those stuffs. Yeah. And now this time, you know, I was attracted to the wrong company, wrong people, are the people that I want to associate with. Yes.
So now, did you become a street boy? Is that what you're saying?
Not a street boy actually, because I was going back to school and I was sleeping there.
Oh.
Because there are other guys who were opening the dorms for me, the dormitories. But later the administration also realized that and they chased me away kabisa. So I was wandering, loitering around Nakuru. I found one of my Shosho, the sister of my Shosho, the real Shosho.
Yeah.
She was somewhere just sweeping around her compound. And I saw her, and she also, we stared at each other. So, and akaniuliza, when do you come? So she called me in this house and said, hey, did you receive your money? Which kind of money? So she started narrating about how my mother had left some money in the account, and my grandmother, the real grandmother of my mother, the mother of my mother, went there, akatoa nguo zote, akatoa kila nguo zote, and she asked the documents that are related to my mother, and bank issues and all that. She was given, and the husband to the sister, was upset and annoyed, and akasema, never come back here again. Tutakupatia vitu za mtoto wako na uende kabisa, because alitoa nguo pia mbele ya watoto wa huo mtu. So actually ilikuwa chaos na anapiga nduru huko. So she was given, my Shosho was given the money, and she went and opened a bar. After to open a bar, now I don't know what happened. So now the story I was being told, I was burning up. I want to go there. They have really made me suffer. Wameniacha, me, I became a beggar. So they told me that they are going to give me the money. I go to Nakuru, Geshagi. I was in Nakuru, but now in the country now.
Yeah.
Place inaitwa Dondori. Now where my grandmother, real grandmother is. So I went there, and the grandmother alineta juu sana. Tukaanza kuletana naye there. So she told me, you're going to town Nakuru, and now I'm going to find how I can help you to pay the school fees, because they never paid. It was before I went to school, there was an agreement between the church, the Compassion International, and them paying the half. So the Compassion paid, the organization paid, but they never paid. So even the school, even when I wanted even to be in school, they wouldn't accept, because I didn't pay the money.
All right.
So there we came with her in Nakuru town, and coming with her there, they changed everything.
Just before we find out what happens to Joseph next, we need to take a short break right here on Hope TV, where you look and live. Please don't go away.